Every March, something strange starts happening in homes with cats. Your cat, who has been perfectly calm all winter, suddenly starts sprinting down the hallway at 2 in the morning. They stare at walls, they chirp at windows. Sometimes they sit in the middle of the room at midnight with this wide-eyed, electric look, like they're reacting to something you can't even see. And most owners assume it's random, just cat weirdness, just Tuesday. But it's not random at all. Across the Northern Hemisphere, cat owners report the exact same thing every spring. This sudden burst of strange, restless behavior. And it's not chaos, it's biology. What's actually happening is one of the most fascinating seasonal responses in the animal world. And it's being triggered right now in your home by signals so subtle that most humans never even notice them. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your cat behaves differently in March, what their brain is responding to, and what it reveals about the hidden natural world cats are still connected to, even while they're sleeping on your couch. Here's where things get interesting. This behavior isn't caused by just one thing. It's several systems inside your cat waking up at the same time. Light, hormones, instinct, even the way the outside world suddenly smells and sounds in spring. All of those signals stack on top of each other, and together they push your cat into that restless, chaotic energy every cat owner recognizes. Most people think their cat is just being weird, but what's really happening is something far older than the house your cat lives in, far older than domestication itself. So let's start with the first trigger, and it's one most people completely underestimate. Light. As March arrives, daylight starts increasing fast. The days get longer, the sun stays up later. More light begins pouring through your windows every afternoon. For us, it's just pleasant. We notice it, we enjoy it, and then we go about our day. But for your cat, that extra light is a powerful signal. Cats have an internal biological clock that is extremely sensitive to daylight. Even small changes, 20 or 30 extra minutes of sunlight each day, can start shifting their entire energy rhythm. Inside your cat's brain, light controls the hormones that regulate sleep and activity. As spring light increases, those hormones begin to change. The result is simple. Your cat becomes more awake, more alert, more energized. A cat who spent most of winter curled up on the radiator suddenly has energy building up inside their body with nowhere obvious to go. So at midnight, they sprint down the hallway. At 5 a.m., they're chirping at birds outside the window. At 3 in the morning, they're inspecting corners of the house like a tiny night security guard. It's not insomnia. It's not anxiety. It's your cat's biology reacting exactly the way it evolved to react when spring arrives. But light is only the first trigger. And if you're curious about the hidden instincts behind the strange things cats do, make sure you're subscribed. Because the next part surprises a lot of owners. Because underneath that daylight signal, another ancient system inside your cat is waking up too. Hormones. Even if your cat is spayed or neutered, their body still carries the echo of ancient seasonal rhythms. Those patterns were written into cat biology thousands of years ago, long before cats ever lived inside human homes. In the wild, spring means one thing: breeding season. As daylight increases, hormone levels in cats naturally begin to shift. Their bodies prepare for a season when activity, movement, and territory suddenly matter much more. And even if your cat can no longer reproduce, parts of that system still wake up every spring. You'll notice it in small ways: more vocalization, more chirping, more of those strange, urgent little sounds cats make when they're trying to get your attention. You may also see patrol behavior, your cat slowly walking the perimeter of a room, stopping at doorways, sniffing corners, checking the same spaces again and again like they're running a quiet security sweep. Some cats become more affectionate during this time. Others become slightly more territorial. Male cats especially may act a little more confident or assertive, even if they've been neutered for years. What you're seeing isn't confusion, it's a hormonal echo, a seasonal tide moving through a body that still remembers the rhythms of the natural world. But hormones aren't the oldest system waking up in March, because underneath all of this, another instinct is turning on, one that goes back even further. The hunt. Spring means one thing in the natural world. Prey comes back. After winter, rodents start moving again. Birds return. Insects emerge. The entire ecosystem suddenly wakes up. And in the environment your cat's brain evolved for, this moment, early spring, would have been the beginning of the most active hunting season of the year. Now, your indoor cat may never see a mouse in your living room, but their senses still pick up the signals. They hear birds through the glass. They detect tiny movements outside. They smell changes in the air when windows crack open for the first time in months. And somewhere deep in their nervous system, something ancient switches on. Watch your cat sitting at a window in March. Their tail starts flicking, their pupils widen, their body lowers slightly. And when they spot a bird outside, they make that strange chattering sound. That sound isn't frustration, it's a hunting reflex, a motor pattern so deeply wired into cat biology that they can't turn it off, even when there's glass between them and the bird. And those midnight zoomies you see, those sudden hallway sprints, those aren't random bursts of chaos. Many animal behaviorists believe they're practice. Your cat's body running hunting movement patterns. Sprint, pounce, turn, chase. Their muscles and nervous system rehearsing sequences that would normally be used to catch real prey. Your cat is, quite literally, training, even if the only thing they'll hunt tonight is a toy mouse under the couch. But hunting isn't the only ancient system waking up in spring. There's another one. And it has nothing to do with prey. Territory. In the wild, spring doesn't just mean more prey, it also means more animals moving around. And when that happens, boundaries have to be re-established. Territories get checked, paths get re-patrolled, and even inside your home, your cat still feels that seasonal shift. Watch what your cat does in March. Really watch. They'll spend more time sniffing along the baseboards, pausing at doorways, inspecting the corners of rooms they normally ignore. You might see them sitting in elevated spots more often too. The top of the cat tree, the back of the couch, a high shelf where they can quietly observe everything happening below. They're not just relaxing, they're surveying. Multi-cat households often notice something else during this time, a small increase in tension. Cats who coexisted peacefully all winter might suddenly have more silent standoffs, more staring, more slow blink negotiations, more subtle body language. What's happening isn't random. Your cats are quietly renegotiating space. Who controls which areas? Who gets access to which resources? Who's allowed to move through certain paths first? All of it happening through a silent language humans rarely notice. Your cat isn't being dramatic. They're doing administration. Sensory overload. Here's something most cat owners don't realize. Spring doesn't just look different to your cat. It smells different. It sounds different. It even feels different. A cat's sensory world is incredibly detailed compared to ours. Their sense of smell is far stronger. Their hearing reaches frequencies humans can't detect. Their whiskers can feel tiny changes in air movement. During winter, that sensory world becomes quiet. Cold air carries fewer smells. Wildlife activity drops. The outside environment becomes slow and predictable. Then March arrives, and suddenly, everything changes. New smells drift in through tiny cracks around doors and windows. Rain wakes up the scent of soil and plants. Birds start calling again in the early morning. Insects begin moving. From your cat's perspective, the outside world suddenly becomes filled with information. Their brain is trying to process all of it. And for a nervous system that sensitive, that's a lot. Movement helps cats process that overload. The pacing, the sudden sprint down the hallway, the midnight zoomies. Those bursts of motion help regulate an overstimulated brain. It's their body's way of burning off excess input. When your cat suddenly races past you at midnight, they aren't being chaotic. In a very real sense, they're processing the explosion of sensory information that spring just delivered to their world. Connection. Here's the part most people don't expect. All of this seasonal activation, the energy, the instincts, the sensory overload, can actually make your cat more bonded to you. Because in the middle of all that activity, one thing in your cat's world stays constant. You. You are part of their territory. You are part of their daily environment. And when spring causes your cat to remap their territory and routines, you get remapped into it too. Many cat owners notice something interesting during this time of year. Their cats start following them more, sitting closer, jumping onto the couch beside them instead of across the room, initiating contact more often than usual. There's something unexpectedly tender about it. In the middle of all that ancient instinct and restless energy, your cat is also reaffirming the relationships that matter to them. You're not just the person who fills the food bowl. In your cat's internal map of the world, you're one of the places that feels safe. You're their anchor. So what should you do with all of this? First, more playtime. Your cat suddenly has a lot more energy moving through their body. Give them somewhere to put it. Interactive wand toys are perfect. Puzzle feeders work too. Anything that lets your cat chase, stalk, and pounce the way their instincts expect to. Second, window enrichment. A sunny window, a bird feeder outside, a place where your cat can safely watch the outside world. For them, it's like television. Third, patience. These seasonal energy spikes are temporary. Most cats settle back into their calmer winter rhythm by late April once the seasonal shift stabilizes. And if you live in a multi-cat household, consider adding a few extra resources. Another feeding station, an extra litter box, a few additional sleeping spots. Reducing competition makes the spring territorial shuffle much smoother. Because your cat isn't going crazy in March. They're responding with incredible precision to signals most humans never even notice. The lengthening days, the hormonal shifts, the return of birds and insects, the sudden explosion of smells and sounds in the outside world, all of it arriving at once. Your cat feels all of it, every bit of it. We domesticated cats. We brought them inside. We gave them soft beds, regular meals, and quiet living rooms. But we never fully separated them from the natural world they came from. And every spring, that world sends a signal. And your cat, sitting in your apartment, your house, your city, receives it perfectly. They still know what season it is. They still know what spring means. And now, so do you.